And we got a grand total of 31 of them, if you take into account that 5 of them are in the Masters category. Hopefully the last time in 2025 that we'll see the Masters combined with the seniors. If there are any Masters drivers watching along thinking, I think it's time to get involved, you're not wrong, because on the next round of the championship at Bira in Thailand, it should be massively competitive. Hopefully we'll have enough drivers in the Masters category for their own race grid, rather than combining with the seniors. But this weekend, it's going to be an interesting one. The big news story coming into seniors for this weekend is the reigning champion, Kimi Chan, is nowhere to be seen. He is not in the grid this weekend. He is busy on other activities, which certainly opens things up for us. And it's going to be a very exciting weekend. This could be an opportunity for Yukapo, the number 200, to give Explorer their first international victory in a final in the Infinity IAME Series Asia category as a chassis builder, the only Asian chassis builder in the X30 paddock. And this is their second outing. They got a podium on debut. Maybe they can get a win in their second outing. But it's not just Yukapo in the field. We also have Tian Runchen, Mohamed Ferres Feswell, Ryan Gunavordana, Bowen Tao, Kei Sachin, Ethan Sito, Thomas George, Toby Gale, Miguel Quinones, Austin Gale, Abyan Seno Prabowo, Butera Adam, Ayan Marwa, Wadapong Aimochan, Zachary Boyce, Isamod Fouad, Zadiev Raikal, Paco Miguel Sarmiento, Karine Kaur, Jigie Javier, Kai Burke, Shavish Sentil, Cooper Fish, and then Megat Zulkarnain, Elvin Shane, and then we've got the Masters, Harith bin Zadelo, Darren Formosa, Tiru Kumaran, Werasak Aimochan, and Scott Wood. So the drivers venturing out onto the course. Could be a very interesting run for pole position, this. And the absence of Kimi Chan has definitely fired up a couple of drivers here who feel this is their chance to shine after Kimi Chan splashed his way to victory in the final last time out. There were a lot of negatives for drivers to try and venture back from, but there are a lot of positives to take as well. And so drivers are certainly learning their craft on the job. It's going to be a fascinating battle for supremacy in the qualifying session. So the first drivers to venture out and get a lap time on the board are Megat Zulkarnain and Melvin Shane. Werasak Aimochan goes on to the fast end of the grid as the fastest master so far. But then, of course, he is venturing to try and find a fast time. A couple of drivers waiting to get out on the course. Now we've got the onslaught. Zadiev Raikal ventures out on track, and that's enough of an invitation for the rest of the drivers to scream out onto the circuit. They decided to wait for the gaggle. And Zadiev Raikal decided enough waiting was enough. So now he can venture out onto the circuit and go for his own bit of action out on the course. And it will be a fascinating scenario as he brings himself a little bit closer to the mark. But it's definitely going to be an interesting run for our drivers up at the sharp end of the dais. So let's see what kind of competition they will give us as we venture our way further forward into the mark. Certainly going to be very interesting reading as the competitors try and find some raw pace. Shavesh Sentil in front of Megat Zulkarnain and Melvin Shane as the rest of the drivers from the Senior X30 Brigade try and work their way forward. They're just trying to get themselves up to the mark a little bit. They don't want to spend too much time figuring out where the karts are going to be. But certainly some big moments as drivers are just trying to dial in the kart, trying to find their feet, warm up the tyres and brakes to the optimum temperature. Looks like the 204 of Ryan Gunavordana just trying to warm up the tyres a little bit more aggressively than some. But certainly looking very hungry for success at the moment as the drivers dial their karts in. So we're waiting for the drivers to find that little bit of extra pace that should put them a little bit further up. Kei Sachin, the Singaporean, currently second on the grid in front of Megat Zulkarnain and Melvin Shane. But we're still waiting for the big guns to venture out and put on a decent time. It's any moment now, really, that we're going to see the fast times. As back into the pits comes Werasak Aimochan. So Werasak Aimochan has set some pace, but has come straight into the pits now. So I've got a feeling that he's either got a problem or he doesn't want to spend too long out there on the course. Yeah, he's pulled straight back in. So after 5 minutes, Warasak Aimwachan decides, I've done enough. So currently, Warasak Aimwachan is slower than Darren Formosa. Harith Zaralo is quicker than him as well, so the pole position in Masters is looking likely to go the way of Harith O. So the competition continues on its way. And still the drivers are looking to find a little bit more activity through the course of proceedings. But we're going to see more great opportunities to see more great battles out on the course as the drivers continue to make good work of things out on the circuit. But Shavish Sentil currently top as Yukapo has gone close to it, 102.984. Expect the fast times to really start tanking on the grid now. And up to the top spot comes Toby Gale. Here we go, Toby Gale, 102.503. He was the quickest man in the practice session earlier, so expect him to be fighting for the pole position now. And he has gone quickest for the moment, a 102.50. Yukapo is going to want to try and match that on the Explorer. And already there's been some close battles around the course. Drivers trying to find a little bit more speed. Ethan Cito goes second quickest, only 0.05 of a second slower than Toby Gale. So Ethan Cito really is finding good speed as Karine Kaur goes third quickest in front of Kai Burke. Then Putera Adam, Shavish Sentil and Yukapo P7 for the moment. But across the line goes Yukapo, and it's good enough for third, a 102.620. So a little bit of time lost, but all going well for the time being, as everything still looks pretty positive. Toby Gale, Ethan Cito, Yukapo, Karine Kaur, Kai Burke and Putera Adam. And the home straight, the 223, Toby Gale trying to extend his advantage, and he has done so. A 102.503 now for Toby Gale. He only finds 0.03 of a second more than his previous best lap, but that shows you the consistency that Toby Gale has got coming into this one. So Toby Gale, top spot in front of Ethan Cito, Yukapo and Karine Kaur, ahead of Kai Burke, Putera Adam, Shavish Sentil, Jiggy Yavier doing a good job in front of Ayan Marwa, another good effort. And Wadapong Aimwachan now in P10 in front of Zadiev Raikal as Yukapo goes third in front of Kai Burke, who goes quicker than Karine Kaur. So still waiting for a big shuffle up at the top end of the field, but a lot of these drivers are finding it tough to cope with the pace set earlier on in the session. Miguel Quinones is currently 11th in front of Zadiev Raikal and Cooper Fish. Ferris Fozy is down in 14th in front of Austin Gale. Fair play to Austin Gale, though, because he missed the entirety of practice on Thursday and Friday. He only saw the track for the first time this weekend, this morning. So Austin Gale is doing a great job to try and get himself back up to pace again in front of Bowen Tao, Miguel Sarmiento, and then Tian Runchen, Megan Sulkanine and Kei Sachin. Ethan Cito still second in front of Yukapo and Zadiev Raikal. So Zadiev Raikal, the reigning junior champion, goes up into P4, the Malaysian talent, doing a good job there in front of Kai Burke and Karine Kaur. Then Putera Adam, Jiggy Yavier, Shavish Sentil and Ayan Marwa in the top 10. Looking through the Masters at the moment, well, it's Harith O on the top spot in front of Tiru Kumaran and Darren Formosa. We already know that Warasak Aimwachan has parked it in the pits, having only done a couple of laps. Scott Wood, I think, has also parked it in the pit lane now, having done his session. Tiru Kumaran has brought his kart into the pits. He's not going to go any further. But Harith O and Hollywood, Darren Formosa, still fancy their chances of the check. Sure why the checkered flag is out early, but it certainly does appear to be. So the checkered flag is now flying. Not entirely sure why, but still the checkered flag is signalled on the main straight. Toby Gale is the pole sitter in front of Ethan Cito and Yukapo. Then Kai Burke, Zadiev Raikal, Karine Kaur, Putera Adam and Jiggy Javier from Shavish Sentil and Ayan Marwa. The Masters pole position goes the way of Harith O in front of Tiru Kumaran, Darren Formosa. Scott Wood is behind Warasak Aimwachan. So not a bad start to the weekend then. I'll go and find the two pole sitters, Toby Gale and Harith O in senior and master. Wow, fascinating situation then out on the course. And two drivers to go and speak to. Toby Gale and Harith O. Pole position in senior and master, respectfully. So, very interesting session then for the seniors. And again, another shuffle of the deck in terms of the competition. Toby Gale, pole position, and what an opportunity for him this weekend, as several drivers that were here in round 2 are not here this time. So a great opportunity to make a really big stink in the championship fight. Let's not forget that Toby Gale, he's right in the vanguard of that fight as well. So a lot to get excited about. So it's going to be a very intriguing race 1 and race 2 that we get later this afternoon in senior. Certainly for the man on top spot, Toby Gale. But the man we want to have a word with along with Toby Gale is also Harith O, who gets the pole position in the Masters category for FR Racing Johor. And then, of course, we go into our lunch break now. So we'll grab a quick word with the 2 men who have topped the sessions in both senior and master. And then we'll be able to crack on. I'm not sure if Harith O actually crossed the line or not, because if he did early, then he may well have already brought it into the pits. So Toby Gale is just over there. We'll see if we can grab a quick word with Harith O if he's already brought the kart in. So we'll double check and see if Harith O is in the FR Racing Johor garage. No, he is still out on the, he's still in Parc Ferme with everybody else. So we're in front of Yukapo. So plenty to get excited about if you are a Carlos Sainz fan, the CS55 chassis, or of course, if you're a 7 Racing fan, or you're from Malaysia, because Ethan Sito on home soil has put it in 2nd position of the grid. So we'll get a quick word with Toby Gale, who gets a quick handshake with Andrea Tedisco and Yukapo. 3rd position on the grid. We'll get a quick word with our pole sitter in just a moment. Obviously, we've got to wait until the drivers come out of Parc Ferme. We're not allowed in the Parc Ferme area.